أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। आप सब मेरे साथ इमिग्रेशन प्रोग्राम सुन रहे हैं। मेरा नाम नाइला यूसुफ है और हर साल की तरह आज मेरा और आपका साथ से 4 बजे तक रहेगा और इस घंटे के दौरान ये कोशिश होगी कि आपको जो इमिग्रेशन के अपडेट्स हैं और तफ़सील से आपको रूल्स के मुताबिक कुछ गाइडेंस दी जाए। अगर आपके पास कोई सवाल है इमिग्रेशन के मुतल्लक तो आप हमारा जो CVFM प्लेटफ़ॉर्म है इस पे आप मैसेज कर सकते हैं। तो हमारा स्टूडियो का नंबर है 01642 688 104 और इस पे आप व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज कर सकते हैं या फ़ेसबुक पे भी मैसेज कर सकते हैं। और मैं कोशिश करूँगी कॉल्स में नहीं रह रही क्योंकि उसमें टाइम भी ज़ाया होता है, तो इसलिए अगर आप जो है ना अगर मैसेज कर लें, तो फिर इससे आपको आपके इस सवाल का जवाब देने की कोशिश करूँगी। अगर इस हफ़्ते नहीं दे सकी तो इंशाल्लाह अगले हफ़्ते ज़रूर दूँगी। तो जैसे कि मैंने बोला मेरा आपका साथ 4 बजे तक होगा और इसके दौरान मैं आपको जो इमिग्रेशन के न्यू लॉज़ काफ़ी तब्दीलियाँ हैं जो हमें शुक्रगुज़ार होना चाहिए इस CVFM प्लेटफ़ॉर्म का कि इस पे हमें ये मौका दिया जाता है कि आपको हम जो तब्दीलियाँ आती हैं, हर साल आपको पहले ही नोटिस देते हैं और इन्फॉर्म करते हैं। तो अगर आपके पास कोई भी सवाल है, आप मैसेज कर सकते हैं। उम्मीद है आप सबके रमज़ान के रोज़े अच्छी तरह गुज़रे होंगे। इनका है ही छोटे से रोज़े हैं, जो है ना तैयारी में ही गुज़र जाते हैं। तो माज़रत चाहती हूँ पिछले हफ़्ते आपके साथ नहीं हाज़िरी दे सकी तो इंशाल्लाह I'll try to make up for it today. So you can just message me on the studio's number on WhatsApp 01642 688 104. So first of all, I'd like to start off with this week's changes that have come about, which you all will be alert to, which is the ETA changes. So you know that you have to have any dual nationals coming into the country will not be able to enter with just with a foreign passport. They have to have an ETA entry वीज़ा और जैसे कुछ लोग हैं वो नेशनैलिटी अप्लाई कर लेते हैं, तो उसमें वो फिर कहते हैं कि हमने अभी नेशनैलिटी नहीं लेनी, हम सिर्फ़ अपना फ़ॉरेन पासपोर्ट लेके तो हम एंट्री कर लेंगे। बेशक आपके पास ब्रिटिश पासपोर्ट है, लेकिन आप वो इस्तेमाल नहीं कर रहे, यार आप अब्रॉड रह रहे हैं, तो आपने अपना ब्रिटिश पासपोर्ट रिन्यू नहीं करवाया, तो आप सिर्फ़ अपने फ़ॉरेन पासपोर्ट से एंट्री करने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो वो उसमें उन्होंने 25 फ़रवरी से इस पे उन्होंने रुकावट डाल दी है। तो आपको आपका या ब्रिटिश वैलिड पासपोर्ट चाहिए, तो या ETA आपको वीज़ा वो 598 का मिलता है। तो बेहतर रहता है कि आप अपना जो ब्रिटिश पासपोर्ट है, वो अपना रिन्यू करवाएँ। तो इस साल जो लेबर गवर्नमेंट्स हैं, उन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा ही तब्दीलियाँ कोशिश कर रहे हैं अपना जो इमिग्रेशन सिस्टम है उस पे वो कंट्रोल करें। तो इस वजह से उन्हें बहुत ज़्यादा रुकावटें डाल रहे हैं। एक ड्यूरेशन की कि आप कितना अरसा इधर रह सकते हैं और आपको सेटलमेंट पीरियड मिलेगा। एक वो ये भी देख रहे हैं इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज असेसमेंट्स, जो लोग वर्क परमिट्स पे आए हैं, उन पे भी उन्होंने काफ़ी रुकावट से डाली हैं। सो ये कह रहे हैं कि अगर आप मॉडल होगा कि 10 साल बाद कुछ लोगों को इंडेफिनिट स्टे मिलेगी, जो लोग 5 साल बाद वर्क परमिट पे आते हैं और 5 साल बाद उनको इंडेफिनिट स्टे मिल जाती थी, उनका ड्यूरेशन पीरियड वो 10 साल इंक्रीज़ करने का उन्होंने इसमें किया हुआ है। So in short, applicants will not be able to apply for settlement after 5 years. Instead, they must have meet strict and mandatory requirement. एंड वो भी ऐसा नहीं होगा कि वो स्ट्रेट अवे वो आपको देंगे कि आपने 5 साल इधर गुज़ारे हैं या 10 साल गुज़ारे हैं तो आपको इंडेफिनिट स्टे देंगे। उसमें वो आपको अर्निंग की रिडक्शंस देंगे, इकोनॉमिक कंट्रीब्यूशन आपको देना पड़ेगा और ऑल्सो हाईली स्किल्ड एक्टिविटी शो करनी पड़ेगी। जो लोग टैक्स देंगे और सही करके काम करेंगे 10 साल में, उनको वो देंगे। तो जो लोग इधर आके अपना काम नहीं पूरा करते वर्क परमिट के तौर पे या उन्होंने अपनी स्किल सही करके इस्तेमाल नहीं की है, तो फिर उस वजह से फिर वो नहीं देंगे। And the four core pillars of the new indefinite leave to remain system ये है कि किसी का criminal conviction नहीं हो, they can't be in breach of immigration laws, and also most importantly उनका NHS या टैक्स गवर्नमेंट के पास डेट ना हो। तो जो लोग इस अस्पताल जाते हैं उन्होंने उधर पे करना होता है प्राइवेट इलाज का या वो टैक्स नहीं दे रहे, तो ये चीज़ वो देख के फिर वो आपको इंडेफिनिट स्टे देंगे। सो ज़रूरी है कि अभी से सब अपना जो है ना टैक्स का सिस्टम, एनएचएस का सिस्टम वो क्लियर तरीके से रखें क्योंकि आगे से बहुत ज़्यादा वो जो है ना मुश्किलें पेश आएँगी लोगों को कि अगर फ़र्ज़ करो आपने 10 साल इतनी मुश्किल से काम, इतनी मेहनत मशक्कत करके आपने गुज़ारे हैं, फिर आखिर में आके जब आप लोग जो इंडेफिनिट स्टे के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं, तो जब वो बोलेंगे कि आप इंडेफिनिट स्टे नहीं आप ले सकते हो, आप एलिजिबल नहीं हो बिकॉज़ यू हैवंट जो you haven't either paid your taxes or paid your NHS contributions to the private sector. So इस वजह से वो आपको indefinite stay refuse कर सकते हैं। तो ये बहुत अभी से ये कानून 2027 से लॉ पास हो रहा है। I was in Manchester in November, उधर हमारा पूरे दिन का कोर्स था सिर्फ इस चेंजेस के मुताबिक जो इन्होंने तब्दीलियाँ लानी है, आहिस्ता-आहिस्ता ये चेंज लेकिन ये आपको अचानक से ही बताएँगे कि ये डेट से ये इट्स गोना स्टार्ट। सो आप उस डेट का इंतज़ार ना करें, जो लोग स्पेशली वर्क परमिट पे इधर आए हुए हैं या जो इधर सेटलमेंट पे की कोशिश करेंगे एंड दे विल हैव अ ट्रांजिशनल अरेंजमेंट। सो शायद ऐसे करें अभी इन्होंने ये इस चीज़ का बोला नहीं है, ना चेंजेस में है। ट्रांजिशनल अरेंजमेंट का मतलब ये होता है कि जो लोग पहले से आए हैं वो पुराने कानून कानून में मोस्टली होते हैं, लेकिन जो नए लोग आएँगे वो शायद नए में हों, लेकिन इसका इन्होंने क्लैरिफाई नहीं किया है। So don't point me down that I said that आप पुराने कानून में होंगे बिकॉज़ उन्होंने ये चीज़ बिल्कुल क्लैरिफाई नहीं किया है मिनिस्टर्स ने कि ये किन लोगों के लिए होगा, नए लोगों के लिए होगा, ये सबके लिए होगा या पुराने के लिए होगा। सो बेहतर ये है कि आप लोग ऐसे करें कि आप पहले से ही अपनी तैयारी रखें, मेक श्योर कि आप अपना टैक्स, नेशनल इंश्योरेंस सही से पे करें, तो फिर आपको कोई मुश्किलात पेश नहीं आएँगी। And then there's going to be a strict character requirement. As well as that, applicants will need to do speaking. अभी फिलहाल B1 test है, तो वो potentially B2 level minimum करेंगे। B2 उसमें रीडिंग और राइटिंग भी होता है। अभी तो फिलहाल B1 में स्पीकिंग और ये इंडेफिनिट के लिए है, एक्सटेंशन के लिए नहीं है। And they have to pass the life in the UK test. तो एक potentially earn reductions with C1 English level for community work अगर उनको ये देखा कि आपकी एजुकेशन हायर है तो स्किल वर्कर्स है उनके लिए वो C1 की इंग्लिश का भी पोटेंशियली इंट्रोड्यूस करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। You've just joined us. We're listening to CVFM on 104.5 FM, and our studio number is 01642 688-104. And that's for any questions in relation to our immigration special program. And in this program, I try to give you all the introductions and changes. Today, what my highlight is to give you a briefing on all the changes that are going to take place in the coming years to do with skilled workers. At the moment, they haven't pushed spouse visas. They have slightly said about settlement and earned earnings for nationality, This is mainly based on people that are on work permits and people who are coming on skilled workers, doctors, teachers, nurses, chefs, anybody who's on a skilled worker. They will have to show a higher income level, tax level. They have to show a good character requirement. The new system is also going to give a heavy emphasis on the economic contribution. So if you have high earnings or key public service, roles may shorten for the qualifying period. So, for example, they are going to look at people with high earnings as well and then balance that out. While they're going to look at lawful continuous residence is still required, and residence alone will not qualify someone for settlement. So at the moment, आपको अगर आपने सिर्फ इधर काम किया है 5 साल गुजारे हैं डॉक्टर बन के या टीचर बन के या किसी और कैटेगरी में भी स्किल वर्कर कैटेगरी में and you get indefinite stay, they're not looking at anything else. But this new requirement will look at your character, your English language, and your economic contribution to the economy. So ये तीनों चीजों पे आपको बहुत emphasis डालना पड़ेगा. आपके जो चीजें हैं वो सारा कुछ वो आप सही करके देखेंगे. And if there's no criminal record, no government debt, full compliance with the immigration rules. English is going to be at B2 in life in the UK. And you have to have earned at least 12,570 per year for the 3 to 5 years prior to applying. So the baseline for the qualifying period is going to be a 10-year. But like they said it can be reduced depending on your contribution to the economy. तो इसमें ये चीज वो देखेंगे कि अगर आपने इधर काम ज्यादा किया है और आपने ज्यादा टैक्स वगैरह दिया है तो वो आपको बता देंगे कि आप कौन से साल में अपना इंडेफिनिट लीव टू रिमेन आप जो है ना ले सकते हैं. लेकिन उन्होंने ये बात का भी जिक्र किया है कि अगर आप 10 साल में पूरे नहीं कर सकते तो शायद आपको 15 साल जो है ना जो लोअर लेवल स्किल रोल्स हैं जैसे लेवल 6 वाले हैं वो उनको वो 15 साल बाद भी इंडेफिनिट स्टे एंड जो उनके डिपेंडेंट्स आते हैं उनको अपना जो है ना करना पड़ेगा वो उनका अपना जो अरेंजमेंट सारा कुछ. सो जैसे आपको बताया गया कि ये जो चेंजेस है ये एंड ऑफ द ईयर या नेक्स्ट ईयर तक आ जाएंगी. उनका उनका मेन टारगेट है कि जनवरी 2027 तक हम इन चेंजेस में जो है ना इनमें हम ट्रांजिशन अरेंजमेंट्स में और इनमें वो फोकस करेंगे और आपको इसमें वो जरूर जो है ना मालूमात देंगे. लेकिन जैसे कि पिछली दफा हमने देखा है कि वो अभी 12 फरवरी तक सबके कंसल्टेशंस अंदर चले गए हैं. जो जिसने जिसने इसके बारे में कमेंट्स देना था, लॉयर्स ने देना था, लोकल गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स ने देना था, वो सब उन्होंने कमेंट्स दे दिए हैं. अभी ये पार्लियामेंट में सब डिस्कस करेंगे. सो डिस्कस करने के बाद फिर ये कानून बनता है. तो ये डिपेंड होता है कि इसके बारे में वोट्स कितनी मिलती हैं, कितनी ऑब्जेक्शंस मिलती हैं. लेकिन हम यही कर सकते हैं कि इस रमजान के महीने में दुआ कर सकते हैं कि अल्लाह ताला हमारे लिए आसानियां फरमाए क्योंकि लोगों के लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा. जहाँ तक स्पाउस वीजे का तलक है उसमें फिलहाल उन्होंने ये नहीं बोला कि अगर वो कुछ चेंजेस लाएंगे. उसमें सिर्फ अभी 5 साल का पीरियड है जो 5 साल में वो जो है ना indefinite stay मिल जाती है. And I will discuss in details about that. The threshold for that, yes, is still the minimum income is 29,000. So उसमें कोई चेंजेस या तब्दीली नहीं आई है. लेकिन जो तब्दीलियां आ रही हैं वो मेनली उन लोगों के लिए हैं जो indefinite stay अप्लाई कर रहे हैं और जो वीजा या वर्क परमिट के रूट पे है. So the key changes we're looking at is as we enter 2026, ये 2025 में ये कह रहे थे हम restore कर रहे हैं control over the immigration system. सो जो लोग B1 का टेस्ट पहले देते थे वो B2 का टेस्ट जरूर देना पड़ेगा. So if you've got no educational background, is going to assist you from attending classes and doing B2 courses to be able to meet the minimum requirement. क्योंकि ये minimum का होता है कम से कम, वो उससे नीचे B1 या कोई वो accept नहीं करेंगे. So any questions in relation to this, you can send us a message on our studio's number on 01642 688 104. And I'll try my best to answer your questions. So the main purpose of the government is modernizing the system for the immigration control. And the earned settlement major policy changes in spring 2026. So the most significant policy shift expected in 2026 is pathway to indefinite leave to remain. So the government proposes to qualify this period from 5 to 10 years, as we said, and with implementation planned in April 2026. This follows consultation. So अभी ये इस अप्रैल में उन्होंने बोला है कि वो कोशिश करेंगे कि कानून चेंज हो जाए, लेकिन ये ऑल डिपेंड होता है कि जो 12 फरवरी तक लोगों ने इसमें आपने कमेंट्स डाले हैं, ये पार्लियामेंट में इस मार्च में डिस्कस करेंगे. अगर ये पास हो जाता है कानून, तो ये अप्रैल इस ईयर में ये कानून लागू हो जाएगा. That's the proposal on the points-based system for earned settlement. So that's exactly. So agar if there's any of you who qualify for 5-year settlement on your work permit, are you waiting for an English test or anything? The advice is, right, to apply before April. Because if, for example, we don't know about the transitional engagements, you might be able to fall into that. The transitional arrangements may take place, but if they do not, you will have to be into the new category, but especially for English language as well. So you all depend on what they're looking at. The other thing they are looking at is people receiving public funds. So जो लोग benefits rate लेते हैं, उनको शायद वो indefinite ना दें इधर आके, अगर आपने benefits ली हैं. Yeah, you've been in breach of previous immigration rules. So if you've had any convictions of any sort, अगर आप इधर विजिटर आए थे या इलीगली आए थे और फिर आप किसी तरीके से आपने अपना स्टेटस चेंज किया है, तो उसमें वो भी आपको शायद इंडेफिनिट स्टे आगे ना दी जाए. तो इस चीज को भी वो देख रहे हैं. So the time restriction factors is short in the qualified period. So is being the partner of a British citizen. So, and also high earnings, employed in shortage occupation, exceptional contribution to UK society. So अगर आपका पार्टनर ब्रिटिश है, शायद आपको इसमें वो थोड़ा लीवे दे दें. Lekin, regardless of the pathway, everybody's going to have good character and suitability. Already in nationality applications, that's one of the key factors. They don't give you citizenship if you've got not a good character and suitability. And even if you've got offences, criminal courts, that will affect you getting indefinite stay or getting any sort of in this country, any sort of visa. So the protected categories, like I said, people stop panicking क्योंकि मुझे इतने phone calls और इतने messages आते हैं कि आया कि ये law change हो जाएगा या ये क्यों तब्दीलियां आ रही हैं हमारे लिए, हमारे husbands. People are panicking going abroad, getting married because they're thinking that they're going to go into the 10-year route. The partners of British citizens on Appendix FM routes will share the 5-year route. So जो लोग 5 साल के वीजे में अभी भी हैं और 5 साल का स्पाउस वीजा उनके लिए होगा, उनका यही कानून होगा. Though they may face time increases if subject to certain factors. So they're looking at such groups such as domestic abuse and children who grew up in the UK should be maintain existing settlement routes. क्योंकि आपको ये पता है अगर आप इधर किसी किस्म के वीजे पे आए हैं, और आपका बच्चा इधर पैदा हुआ है और बेशक आपका स्टेटस इलीगल हो जाए या आपका स्टेटस नहीं है, तो आपका बच्चा 7 साल का हो जाए, तो 7 साल के रूल में आप इंडेफिनिट स्टे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। तो इट 7 साल के रूट पे आप उनका इंडेफिनिट से अगर अप्लाई करते हैं, बाद में उनको ब्रिटिश सिटीज़नशिप मिलता है, तो आपका भी वीज़ा उनके साथ लिंक हो सकता है। तो ये उन्होंने लूप होल देखा है कि जो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस पे भी लोग इंडेफिनिट स्टे लेते हैं और जो लोग इसमें भी लेते हैं 7 साल के बच्चे के रूट पे, इनको ये लूप होल नज़र आया है कि अगर इस पे वो चेंजेस लाएँ, तो वो शायद इसमें थोड़ी सख्तियाँ कर दें क्योंकि लोग आसानी से इसमें वीज़े ले रहे हैं, तो इस पे वो सख्ती करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इस पॉइंट पे हम छोटा-सा कमर्शियल ब्रेक लेते हैं और इंशाल्लाह मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद।
104.5 CVFM.
Bus, let's ride! Take a break.
Ramadan rise at Teesside.
Ramadan Mubarak from the team at Teesside School of Motoring. This holy month is about progress and patience. Whether you're just starting your journey or looking to fast-track your licence with an intensive course, Teesside School of Motoring is here for you. From manual and automatic lessons to expert theory training, we provide a stress-free experience in a friendly, professional environment. Serving the whole Teesside community, we help you drive with confidence. Male and female instructors are available to suit your needs.
Start your journey today. Call us on 077 12345 612 or book online at tsrmotoring.co.uk. We also have Arabic speaking instructors so you can learn at ease. Teesside School of Motoring, driving your future.
It's Teesside School of Motoring.
Looking for safe professional care that helps you feel confident inside and out? Welcome to Aesthetichem, Aesthetics Clinic and Private Pharmacy, a new spacious and welcoming clinic run by a highly experienced pharmacist. We provide trusted pharmacy services including weight loss treatment, travel vaccinations, men's sexual health, men's hair loss, period delay, facial hair removal, care for rosacea, acne, and other clinical skincare. Our aesthetics service includes anti-aging treatment, lip fillers, skin peels, and vitamin treatments, all delivered in a calm and professional environment. We also have clinic rooms to rent for practitioners with complimentary services. Based at 18 Norton Road, Stockton-on-Tees. Please contact 01642 051 351. Email hello@aesthetichem.co.uk or visit our website. Aesthetichem, professional care that you can trust.
Ramadan, oh, Peri, Peri, gather round close.
This Ramadan, make your iftar more meaningful with food that feeds the soul.
आज इफ्तार का क्या प्लान है?
Soul of Peri Peri. Iftar bilkul sorted hai.
At Soul of Peri Peri, enjoy mouth-watering peri peri flavors, perfect for sharing after a long day of fasting.
Namaz ke baad, garam, fresh aur zabardast khana.
Visit 184 Linthorpe Road, Middlesbrough. Branch also at 168 Northgate, Darlington. Or call us on 01642 668 021.
रमदान का असली मजा सोल ऑफ पेरी पेरी के साथ.
Also available on Just Eat and Uber Eats. Soul of Peri Peri, food for your soul this Ramadan.
Ramadan, it's the soul of Peri, Peri, gather round close.
Hello, Ellie here. Let me introduce you to Smoothprint.
Whether you need business cards, brochures for your startups, or posters to announce your grand opening, perhaps design a logo to further promote your business. We can do it all and much more in a record time and at affordable prices.
Smoothprint is your local professional design and print business specializing in shop signage and vehicle graphics.
Our team of professional graphic designers will ensure that your corporate image and values are shown in a memorable, charming way, while the state-of-the-art digital printing technology we use will impress your business partners and potential customers and will add to your competitive edge.
Smoothprint. Telephone 01642 688 400 or order online at www.smoothprint.co.uk.
Cash me a blue star. your food specialist.
Looking for the freshest halal meat, frozen food and exotic fruits and vegetables? Look no further. Visit Kashmir Food Store at 115 to 123 Abingdon Road, Middlesbrough.
हमारे पास हर वो चीज मौजूद है जिसकी आपको जरूरत है और इसके साथ हर किस्म के बर्तन, पतीले, डिनर सेट और घर के सामान भी दस्तयाब है.
From fresh Pakistani mangoes to premium basmati rice, chapati flour, cooking oils, spices and daily essentials, we have everything you need for your kitchen. Kashmir Food Store. Call 01642 242426 for more information.
Kashmir Food Store, your local food specialist.
इफ्तार की तैयारी और वही भाग दौड़. जल्दी जल्दी समोसे तलना, खजूरें सजाना और फल काटना. मगरिब से पहले शदीद भूख और टेबल सेट करने की वो अफरा तफरी. पहली खजूर, खुशियों का शोर और हाथों हाथ बढ़ती इफ्तार की रौनक. रमजान को खास बनाते हैं यही लम्हे और रेमिटली के जरिए घर पैसे भेजकर मैं इन रौनकों को यूं ही बरकरार रखती हूँ. रमजान मुबारक. हर ट्रांसफर अपनों को और करीब लाए. रेमिटली यूके लिमिटेड इज ऑथराइज्ड एंड रेगुलेटेड बाय द एफसीए.
रोजा खोलने का टाइम हो गया? Head down to Burrow Pizza in Middlesbrough. Iftar special from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. Collection only. Any 10-inch pizza for £5.99 or any 12-inch pizza सिर्फ £6.99. गरम, fresh और halal. Perfect after a long fast. Hosting an iftar gathering? Burrow Pizza बनाए आपका दस्तरख्वान और भी खास. पिज्जा के अलावा पारमोस, कबाब्स और क्रिस्पी फ्राइड चिकन भी अवेलेबल है. प्लस मील डील्स भी हैं. कॉल 01642 251 125. Visit 180 Linthorpe Road, Middlesbrough. Check the full menu at burrowpizzahouse.co.uk. आज का इफ्तार Burrow Pizza के साथ.
Keep it locked to 104.5 CVFM.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम. मैं आपका इमिग्रेशन शो लेके हाजिर हूँ. मेरा नाम नाइला है और मेरा आपका साथ एवरी सैटरडे 3 से लेके 4 तक इंशाल्लाह होगा. और ब्रेक से पहले हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे जो मेन तब्दीलियां आ रही हैं कानून में. And like I emphasized before the break, these are mainly for people who are on skilled workers, on work permits, on tier 2 visas. So जो लोग appendix FM मसलन spouse visa पे आ रहे हैं, उस पे भी वो जो categories हैं उनमें वो तब्दीलियां अभी तक नहीं हैं, लेकिन उनमें कुछ वो ये चीजें देखेंगे. गुड कैरेक्टर लोगों का देखेंगे और इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टेस्ट का भी शायद उसमें कोई तब्दीली आए. लेकिन जैसे कि आपको मैं बता रही थी, I was telling you before the break that the law is becoming very strict, and if you are eligible to apply this month in March, then do make your applications, because the proposals were consulted by the 12th of February और April 2026 से वो कह रहे हैं कि इनको implement करने की कोशिश करेंगे if they pass the green paper and the white paper in parliament. तो ये आप मेरे साथ इमिग्रेशन CVFM रमजान लाइव पे सुन रहे हैं इमिग्रेशन शो. तो हमारे स्टूडियो का व्हाट्सएप नंबर है 01642688104 और ये आप हमारा प्रोग्राम 104.5 FM पे भी, मोबाइल ऐप पे भी और YouTube टीज मुस्लिम मीडिया लाइव पे @टीज मुस्लिम मीडिया लाइव पे सुन सकते हैं. तो अगर आपके पास कोई भी सवाल है तो आप हमें स्टूडियो पे मैसेज कर सकते हैं. तो while I'm doing the program, inshallah, I'll try to answer it. If not, next week in my program, I will try to, give you मुझे पता है मेरी बहनें इस वक्त शुरू कर रही होंगी, तैयारी कर रही होंगी अपनी इफ्तारी की. तो मेरा आपका साथ इंशाल्लाह 4 बजे तक रहेगा. तो जहाँ तक स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनकी ये तब्दीली है कि once a student finished his graduation and they were allowed to apply for a graduate visa, which meant that they could apply for a PSW or work permit for up to 2 years. That from the 1st of January 2027 is going to be reduced from 24 months to 18 months. So जो मेरे students सुन रहे हैं वो ये चीज देख लें. If you're entitled to apply for a PSW visa before January, make your application prior to that, because after January, they were only going to grant you 18 months in this country. So the effective from 1st of January, the post-study work permission for graduates with bachelor's and master's degrees will be reduced from 24 months to 18 months. However, graduates who complete a PhD will be able to entitled to the full 3 years of their permission. So agar aapne PhD ki hai, they will let you stay for another 3 years with that. The reduction is visa duration is for for international students. So इसलिए वो इसको कम कर रहे हैं. लेकिन जैसे कि आपको पहले पता था कि लोग इधर कानून था कि if you're here for 10 years, whether you've been here for 5 years as a student and 5 years as a different category, and you've had 10 years legal residence, you could apply for indefinite stay under the, you were allowed to individuals aggregate time in different visa categories. This is the thinking of abolishing this altogether as well. So this removes a crucial safety net for those who have complex immigration histories, have worked in roles below degree level. So अगर आपके different categories थे, उस पे भी ये सोच रहे हैं कि इस route को हम cancel करें. So I've just had a question which I'll have a look at. And then I'll try to get back to you. So one of my friends has said that I arrived here in the UK on a health and care work visa sponsored by a care company. The company now has no shifts and no work available. Am I allowed to change sponsor or switch into another work route without leaving the UK, and what steps should I take to stay lawful? It's a very good question. The Home Office do give you a 3-month leave period. So if you at the moment and still have got your legal residence and you can find a job in a care working in the same category, what's important is that person who you're going to change into has a sponsor license. So they must apply for a sponsor license for you. So you can be sponsored to be able to switch into that care worker route with them, but your period will start from the beginning again from them. But what will happen is they have to apply for a license from the government to employ you. Once that sponsorship license has been accredited to them, then you can apply to switch categories to them. If that company does not have, or you cannot find another company that has a license to be able to switch into, you cannot switch into any other care, because you came as a care worker. किसी और company may change you. Like, for example, you can't go into a different profession, you can't go into a different route, you have to switch into that route, but that company has to apply for you for an accredited sponsor license. Then, yes, they will be able to employ you in their company. But if that sponsor license is not available, then you're not allowed to change into any other category. I hope that answers your question. If you want to ask anything further on that point, you can message again. So like I was saying, if you are eligible to apply, you students out there who are eligible to apply for a PSW, say everybody's graduating, inshallah, this July, we're having all the graduations, yeah? So you're going to have all the graduations and you'll be able to apply for your PSWs come July, August, November. So don't delay your application. आप अपना PSW जल्द apply करें before January. Get that in, get the ball rolling, because come January for the new, this is mainly going to hit the new intakes, because जो लोग September से start करेंगे, international students जो आएंगे, तो उनके लिए mainly ये hit करेगा, क्योंकि जब वो next year graduate करेंगे, तो they won't be able to apply for 2 years. and on degree level or master's level, they're only going to get 18 months PSW. लेकिन जो लोग इस साल graduate कर रहे हैं, and you are looking to apply for the PSW, but say if your visa doesn't run out till next January or whatever, and you're thinking of doing a different course or everything and then apply for it, you might get put into the net of the 18 months route. So if you are eligible, apply as soon as you graduate this year. That's major advice for you people who are not, looking at changing courses or applying. And these routes, the PSW is only for the people who graduate, who fulfill the courses, pay all their international fees. Agar aap apni fees nahi dete, apna course pass nahi kiya, you won't be eligible to apply for a PSW in any case. So ye try kare ki aap apni fees, everything, you have that all up to date so you can apply for a PSW, because it gives you 2 years more into the country, and inshallah, you might be able to, after that, switch into another worker route, or, but what they're saying is they're not going to let you switch these 2 years of student route, 2 years of graduate route, and then 3 years of any other route to apply for indefinitely in different routes. You have to do 10 years in one work permit route to be able to get indefinite stay in this country. They're not going to be able to do that. So what we're looking at is a lot of target is being put on work permit people and people who are here on student routes. So if you have a skill, you can change visa in country on the skilled worker route as long as your visa is longer than 6 months. Anybody who has a visa less than 6 months and 1 day can't change visas in country. You have to go abroad and then you have to come back and apply for a new visa and come back. So the settlement scheme is the main thing that we were advising you of, that the 10-year route is going to be introduced for all of you who are on 5-year routes, may come into a transitional agreement, but we just have to keep up to date with the law and everything. So coming back to spouse visas will not be affected by many changes. It's unfortunate that our radio program did come after Ramadan started on the 19th, because anybody who did have any objections to this, anything, could have put this, we would be aware of it, could have put anything to the government before the 12th of February. But at the moment, that's all been accepted now. So uske baad abhi koi aur changes nahi honge. To do with the NHS people will have to pass the B2 test, and the salary threshold, will be looked at as well. They look at the salary threshold, which will be increased. So the temporary shortage list of the employment of sponsorship below degree level roles, they will be looked at. Unless people they are changing people who are on shortage occupation lists. As you know, for example, doctors, teachers, you are shortage occupation lists, and you did have people with skills as well were entitled to apply for indefinite stay after 5 years. So I know people are going to be considering coming to the UK as well and thinking, is it worth my while paying all this? And we don't know, another government, another changes, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But at the moment, hum ye dua kar sakte hain ki these laws can come in, but obviously governments coming in do change the policies. Law changes every day, so we have to just keep up to date. आप ये बात का भी ख्याल रखना कि आज मैं आपको ये कानून बता रही हूँ कि आज ये कानून है, कल को शायद और गवर्नमेंट आए और कानून में तब्दीलियां आए, तो इसमें काफी जो है ना चेंजेस आ सकती हैं. रोज इंग्लिश टेस्ट चेंज होते हैं. Now, jahan tak nationality ka where nationality is concerned, they are thinking of doing earned nationality as well. That's a proposed changes where people will be applying for citizenship, might have to pay taxes, national insurance contributions, and may have to earn that to be able to be a British citizenship in this country. So any of you aunties, uncles who've been here for 20, 30 years, more than that, I've had people who have been here for longer and delayed their British citizenship applications, especially with this new ETA as well. I would advise apne British citizenship to applications and get them in as soon as possible. Jahan 65 year over, you have no life in the UK test, no B1 test. Anybody who's over 65 is exempt. Anybody who's mentally, physically impaired can get a letter from the doctor, and they are also exempt from the English language tests as well. So please, if you are entitled to apply for nationality and naturalization, रोजाना हमारे कानून में तब्दीलियां आ रही हैं. The briefing I can give you on this is, as long as you can fulfill 3 requirements, which is the good character requirement. So आपने कोई इधर कानून नहीं तोड़ा, इसमें कोई, you've had no convictions, no, there are points where some people have had convictions, and after a certain period, they do look at waiving them as well. For example, if you've been in this country illegally for 10 years and you can't apply, but if you've got legal residence, you can't. As we know from February last year, which was the 10th February last year, anybody who came here in the back of the lorry, who came here illegally, who came as a refugee, what was illegal, they've stopped them applying for citizenship already. They're not entitled to apply for citizenship. You can, people have still inquired into applying and challenged this by judicial review. But the thing is, it's a case of people applying, it's going to be discretionary, up to the caseworker, 50-50 fence. If they decide to give you it, that's fine. If they decide, no, we're not going to give this person the citizenship application because of certain reasons, then you lose your fee. And then we'll tell you why you're not entitled to apply. So that's because that comes under the good character requirement. And the other thing with good character requirement is you can't have had certain court orders, attended court. If you were stopped by the police, say, for example, it was a driving offence and you didn't attend court for it, that's a minor offence. So that, as long as you put it down on your application, some people think, oh God, this is a minor offence. I only got done speeding points. I didn't even go to court for this, so I'm not going to put it down on my application. But then they get penalised for that, for hiding information. So the summary of that is you must put down any conviction at all, wherever it's going through red traffic lights and getting stopped by the police on an application. Because if you don't, and it comes on your criminal, because they do CRB checks and they do criminal checks, then even though you were suitable, you met the other tick, the English language requirements, you could tick the residential requirements, you will still get penalized and not be able to get your application, your nationality application, because you didn't merely put down that you got stopped by the police. So this is very important that you put any point, जो कुछ भी है आप उस पे लिख दो, उस पे आपके एप्लीकेशन में कैरेक्टर में फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. फर्क तब पड़ता है अगर आप कोर्ट में गए थे. सो अगर आप कोर्ट में गए थे और आपको सजा हुई है तो वो आपको फिर एक पीरियड देते हैं उसमें गाइडेंस पे. मैं आपको इस नेक्स्ट वीक इसकी full briefing दूंगी कि उसमें कितना अरसा. If anybody's got any questions in relation to that as well, they can send us a message on 01642 688 104 and WhatsApp that to that number. And you can also, if you're listening on Facebook, put a message on Facebook to us and we'll try to answer that question to you. But the ये बात है कि अगर this is specific to your duration. For example, there's a 3-year rebate period. If you've crossed 3 years after that conviction, like points, जैसे points license पे लिखते हैं, you have 5 years after an prison sentence or 10 years. So that will then, the guide, I will tell you from the guide what period you have to fulfill before you can apply. Because say if you apply before the period, you will risk losing. It's a lot of money. The application की fees जो है is 1,735. 1735 pound fees there. So you will only receive your £80 fee back, which is for the ceremony, but you will lose the remainder of your fee. And that is a lot of money these days, especially in the cost of living crisis. We've got, people who can't afford that money. So without getting proper advice and looking at the proper guidance, don't make any applications because you risk losing a lot of money there. So जो good character का requirement है वो ये है. Second requirement is your residential requirement. So you must fulfill, at least if you're married to a British citizen, 270 days you can't have been absent from the country and 90 days prior to your application. And if you've stayed absent from the country for 450 days, so for example, you stayed out of the country for 2 years, you came back, we have 365 days in a year, you can't apply for the next 5 years because you stayed out of the country for 2 years. So that residential requirement, or you went to Pakistan, stayed for 6 months, came back, then you think of applying, no, because you can't have been absent from the country more than 90 days prior to your application. So you have to be physically present into the country as well, 5 years preceding your application. So for example, we're in 28th of February 2026 now, and you're applying under the 5-year route, you should have been in this country 28th of February 2020, one? So then you will then be in this country 5 years. But if you were in Pakistan or a different country in Dubai or whatever in February 2021, you weren't physically present in the country, you will get refused because you were absent from the country 5 years before applying. Some people find that difficult to understand because they don't think I've been in this country for 5 years now, why can't I apply? But it's the absence they see from the date that you apply. The law starts from not that you've been in this country for 20 years or 30 years. The law starts from 5 years going back from your application. So if you're making your application on 1st of March 2026, they will go back to 1st of March 2021. So that's your 5 year. Or if it's 3 years, then it's 3 years going back. So you'll be going back to 2022. So then ये जो 3 साल या 2023 ये 3 साल का पीरियड वो काउंट करेंगे. So you will have to be physically present in the country. If you were on holiday, that you will be penalized and you'll be refused. You won't be given a chance that nahi aap next week fair apply kar lo. The date you submit your fee is when your time starts. So that's when you made your application. The third requirement, as we said, was the English language requirement. So everybody who applies for nationality, some people under different categories are exempt, but nationality mein sabko apply karna padta hai. You have to fulfill a life in the UK test and a B1 test at the moment. They haven't said they're going to increase it for nationality to B2, but we don't know. So there are some consultations. We're only going to find out after April what they are. So if anybody is eligible to apply for nationalisation, and we also get fee increases every April as well. So even though that fee that I've just quoted to you is $1,735 for now, come April it might increase to $1,800. I don't know, because every April the government has fee changes. It's from 6th of April every year. So this year they haven't done a table yet, but we don't know. So if anybody is eligible to apply for naturalization, I would advise you apply this March, so you can save yourself some money as well. And also, if meet the requirements of any English language or anything that they might change in the sense of routes, rules or anything. Yeah. You need to be able to fulfill any requirements before you fill any application. जो exemption की category मैंने आपको बताई थी वो लोग जो 65 साल के ऊपर हैं, so anybody 65 साल के ऊपर है, so anybody who's over 65 does not have to fulfill any English language requirement, and anybody who is disabled, is disability mentally. But you're not just going to get a letter from the doctor. You have to. There's a form online which you have to take to your doctor, and get that doctor to, if they're mentally or physically impaired and they can't fulfill these English language requirements, then you take. And this is also the same for the time of settlement as well. For them people who are cannot fulfill the English language requirement. So the exemption category, they have to take that form to the doctor. The doctor has to fill that form in and also has to state on that form that you won't be able to do this test, but you won't be able to fulfill it with any, you're not going to recover with medicine. Medicine's not going to change your ability to be able to do this test as well. So that form is quite challengeable if it's not filled in correctly as well. So you have to make sure that the form is filled in correctly and you submit that with the application. Then inshallah, you will be able to, fulfill the English language exemption category with that. एक दफा आप application apply कर लें, उसके बाद आप fee भी online pay करें. You have to go and attend your fingerprints, biometrics, upload all your documentation to the Home Office. The time period for nationality applications at the moment is 3 to 6 months. As they're not that very busy at the moment, we are getting replies within 3 months. Once the application has been granted, you will receive an email, and then you attend a ceremony. Now you can attend a group ceremony for which the fee you already paid with your visa application, your nationality fee. But if you do want to have an urgency and you need to travel, you can do a private ceremony. They will charge you £140 for that. And that £140 will then give you a private ceremony. For then after that, you apply for your passport, your British passport, and that passport then will, come to you with British citizenship. And with the law changes at the moment, it is advisable that people do not delay the applications. अल्लाह ताला का लाख लाख शुक्र है कि हमें ये मौका मिलता है इन प्रोग्राम्स में कि आपको हम जो नई नई तब्दीली आती है इमिग्रेशन के मुताबिक या जो ये हर साल मैं आपको इसका इसकी मालूमात देती हूँ, आपको बताती हूँ कि जो तब्दीली है, और अगर किसी को इसका फायदा भी होता है, ये भी सदका जारिया है भाई इदरीस की फैमिली, और उनके लिए भी दुआ करें जो कितने सालों से. We were discussing the other day whether it's been over 25 or I don't know how many years since we've been running these immigration programs. And also his radio program is, such benefit. वो इतना लोगों को मालूमात देते हैं, हर बात में चैरिटी करते हैं, और आप सबसे दरख्वास्त है कि आप हर चैरिटी प्रोग्राम में बढ़ चढ़ के हिस्सा लें. इस रमजान मुबारक के महीने में अल्लाह ताला जो है ना आपको इसका दुगना के कितना आपको स्वाब मिलता है, whether it's to do with the mosques, whether it's to do with the SKT, or whether it's with any charity program that is, it's sadaqah jariyah. You get free advice from these programs and you contribute towards the charities, and it's double swab for everybody. मेरा आपका साथ इंशाल्लाह every week 3 से लेके 4 बजे तक रहेगा. If during the week anybody has any questions, you listen to the program afterwards on Facebook or on YouTube, and you have any questions, WhatsApp them to the studio number on 01642 688104. Whether it's to do with visitors, spouse visas, nationality, work permits, anything, student visas, and we will try to, answer that question. And thank you everybody for listening to our program. और मेरी तरफ से सबको अल्लाह हाफिज.
104.5 CVFM.
Yes, let's break. Take a break.
We know how difficult losing a loved one can be. That's why at Rose Memorials, we have experienced and friendly staff who can help you make the important